Hey, I just want to put together a quick video about the vacuum bed before anybody buys it. I don't want there to be any problems or any issues. I don't want anybody misunderstanding anything. Like, I want to just show you exactly what I built and what works for me. It works for me, and you know, before you buy it, before you build it, you know, get the materials and stuff, spend the money, I want you to understand exactly what it is. The thing about vacuum beds is that they're limited by the surface area of whatever you're trying to hold down. So if you're trying to hold something small down, then there's just not going to be much surface area for the vacuum to pull down on. Even the big machines have that limitation. So with what I built, number one, it's removable, so you can still use your regular bed with clamps and stuff. I just want there to be no confusion. It's not perfect, it has its limitations, but it really does work well. So I kind of wanted to just do a video unedited and just kind of just show you what I'm talking about and why. Also some tricks to making it work better. So I wanted to show you the setup here. Basically, it's some things I want to point out is that I'm using just a small vacuum, shop vac. If you were to use a larger one or even a vacuum pump, you'll get better results. This comes up to a control valve, and basically there's two zones on this. So you can just use this one and have more vacuum power, or you know, use both of them, have the whole thing. They are removable just by a couple screws. You can remove the whole bed and use the old bed. I put a little fence here, but you don't have to have that. Another little trick is that when you're using a vacuum bed, if you cover the area with just scrap piece of wood or scrap piece of foam that you're not using, that will suck this down and redirect the power to here. So I always have some extra pieces of foam like that. So this is just a little piece of wood that I'm going to show you. It's a piece of plywood. This is a fish scale, and it goes up in pounds. I mean, you know, it takes a while to, or a lot of force to get up there. Put a little screw here, and I'm going to start the vacuum bed and then try to move it and give you the basic idea. You see it moves freely like that, and we'll just get kind of an idea of what we're dealing with. So it took a little bit to, you know, get it to move, and it holds down way enough that you wouldn't have to worry about it moving during a carve. So another thing that helps is sometimes if you augment it with tape, and let me show you what I'm talking about, is you take just something like cheap ass duct tape, and you just take a couple little strips real quick. This is much quicker than doing any clamps, and much cheaper as any, you know, compared to CA glue method or CNC tape. This is a lot cheaper, a lot quicker, and when you use this sucker won't move. Save your life. So that little bit, let me show you. I was moving the whole machine before. It will not move, and that was two little pieces of cheap duct tape like that. So the whole machine moved before that moved. So that's the limitation, is you know, if you really need something held down that's not holding down, put a little couple pieces of tape. Here's another example. If you do something like this, and what you're basically doing is creating like a gasket around the material, that will not move to save your life. Same thing as if you use a little tape underneath and just did the perimeter, that creates almost like a gasket to just seal all the suction on here, and that again, that won't move to save your life. So it has its limitations, but if you do a couple little things, it works wonderfully. And when you're taking and carving on this, you're not hitting a clamp. It's quick to set up. If you come off here, that it'll carve right through it. It's not a big deal, you know. So it works for me, and that's the thing, is like, this is just a system that works for me. I started using it with EVA foam, and what happens is with foam you could clamp the edges, but it still pops up in the middle. When you turn the vacuum on, look at how it just sucks it down. So you see, that's what the spurred the me building this, was because I couldn't keep the EVA foam down. The other thing is, like, things like acrylic and plastics that are non-porous and they're super dense, those things you can't move them with a hammer. So it has its applications, it works wonderfully, but it's not perfect, and I don't want anybody to think it is. So before you spend the money, think about it. You know, it's only 25 bucks, but I just don't want anybody to come back and say, oh, I didn't know this or that. So I just want to make sure I was fair about it and just show you what it's all about. All right, thank you.